Welcome out, everybody. Tonight, our wellness topic is healing at the roots, looking at the root cause of symptoms of health problems already involved in.
Okay, thank you. So this has been so fantastic to teach and to share with people, because I know that sometimes people have the same health problem as somebody else, but one oil will help with this person, another oil will help with the other person, and different things work and different things don't work, and then people wonder why. What's the difference? The difference is the root of your health problem. Sometimes you have the same diagnosis, but sometimes the issue is totally different underneath it. So
And this is what's different about natural healing and essential oils, where in the traditional with pharmaceuticals and drugs and everything, we have one solution for anything that has to do with that symptom or anything. But and that's just masking the symptoms, right? So we're talking about we're addressing the symptoms by eliminating it from the root. And that's, some people say, like, well, why don't you just have one essential oil for this? Or how can that one essential oil do so many things? It really depends on what the root cause is.
Yeah, and I love the essential oils because it self-selects. It just kind of goes where it needs to go. So today I want to help you understand how to heal at the root. And this is going to help you heal permanently. Okay, so this is about understanding the process that has led to results in your life. Okay, so if you look at that picture there, everything starts at the belief level. So the soil in which you plant your thought seeds. Okay, so if you plant your thought seeds in a good soil and it starts to grow, it's going to grow into a nice, healthy tree. Okay, so it's going to create healthy, good feelings, and then it kind of helps you do some good actions, and then it causes a lot of good results. And sometimes we have some bad results, and then we get very angry and frustrated because we don't know what to do. And then a lot of people will tell us just to fix it, cut it off, chop it out, and that's how they resolve it. But that root is still there. So a lot of people say, hey, how come I have this cancer again? Or, hey, I lost all this weight and now I'm right back to where I started. And, oh, no, I'm chubbier than I was too, and it's like, what? It's frustrating. So you don't feel like you're progressing. So this is one way for us to help people understand how to progress. Because the approach that people have had in the past, they will feel very frustrated and hopeless, and then they start blaming. It's because of these people, it's because of these things, because of this situation, because we don't know where to go from there. No one's taught us. So I want you to look at that illustration, and I want to kind of explain it with you a little bit. And guys, you can feel free to ask questions, okay? So if you think about it, say you have a belief, and say it's a negative thinking belief, and then you keep thinking those thoughts and those similar thoughts to those things, and then it causes you to have some feelings, and feelings cause you to do stuff. That's action, right? So for example, you shop, you go out shopping, you actually make purchasing decisions on feelings. Okay, so I'm a shoe person. I like shoes. I look at shoes and I say, oh, so cute. I mean, that's a feeling I have, right? And I purchase it because I feel like it's really makes me feel happy and fuzzy inside. I don't tell myself, hey, here's the 15th pair of foot covering that my body needs. No, I just know that it's cute. I have to have it. Okay, so I make these purchasing decisions on feelings, and then that's the action, right? And the action, even though some shoes are, pinch my toes, I will still wear it. And it's ridiculous because we're thinking, that's not good for you, duh. And that's the same with people who have a lot of addictions. They know that cigarettes are not good for them. They know sugar's not good for them, but they still do it anyways. And it's so hard to stop and then think, oh, I have no willpower, just giving that blame over to willpower, or something's deficient about me, blame. Okay. And so you see this result and it's not good and you still do it anyways. So what we want to do is I'll give you some examples, but I'll walk through the how-tos, okay? So we'll go to the beginning first. So first of all, number one is you identify the fruits or the results. So what's happening? And you need to see patterns. So you can say, hey, every time I do this, I self-sabotage, or, you know, these things. And you have to identify, you have to write it down. You can say, look, I have this weight issue, or I have this pancreas problem, whatever, and just identify it, write it down. And then you want to look at, the next thing is action. So I have a whole list here of what to do, okay? So look at the actions, things that you're doing or not doing that has caused those results. Okay, so write it down. You don't have to fix anything yet. The next thing is to identify emotions. Okay, so I'll give examples later on, but what I want you to know is just you have to find the emotions. And the good thing about what we do is we can help people with the essential oils, and the essential oils will help us identify certain oils and certain emotions. Okay, so if you have an oil that you don't like, or your oil that you like, you can say, hey, there's this emotion here that we need to resolve. If you have an Itovi scanner, it'll help you find the oils for you, or you can just do the nose smelling test, you know, pull out your little CD case and just start sniffing away. And I've had people sniff, and they'll pull out the ones that they like and pull out the ones that they don't like, and have these two piles, and they're like, tell me about them, tell me about these. Okay, and that's kind of fun to go through. Okay, so for those people who can muscle test, you can test the exact emotions that go with each oil. The muscle testing is just about tapping into your subconscious and helping you really hone in and identify exact emotions. Okay, so now that you have emotion and you know what it is, that will help you identify what your thinking patterns are. So what are your thoughts? You know, what thinking are you doing in here? Because sometimes we think we know ourselves, but we don't. We don't realize that we're thinking all these thoughts subconsciously, and sometimes it's like on auto pilot, and it keeps on doing the same things. Okay, and those thoughts will help you find out what it is that you really believe. Okay, so that's that. And when you're done with understanding what you're believing, your next thing is to own your power and rescript. So you have to make a conscious choice of change. So, you know, use words that are equal and opposite to whatever the old destructive belief is, and then you fill yourself with that light and truth and love and power. So I have the Feelings book here, Feelings Buried in Life Never Die, and the Emotions book. So if you can find that emotion, you can find a list of like 5 or 6 options of positive, equal, opposite, and positive emotions. So for example here, if you say, hey, the emotion I found is tense, and then so Carol Trueman says here, you can feel relaxed, yielding, flowing, flexible. So here's some options of what words to use to rescript your mind, because words are powerful, right? Sometimes when someone says something to you, you know, you react. If someone says, you're gorgeous, I love you, you think, oh, yay, you react. If someone says, oh, no, you're no good, you know, you know, give up already. And you feel like, oh, look, that hurt me, right? So words are powerful, it creates. So now I'll give you an example of,
Dave.
Yeah.
The Louise Hay book, How to Heal Your Life, is a pretty good book too.
Yeah, that's absolutely awesome too. Yeah, it's one of those books that I recommend.
That's a really good one for referencing like the body part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more for body. Sorry. Yeah.
Emotions or identifying affirmations.
That's good too, because if you see the results of your body, right, then you can find the emotions too. So that's another way. That's great. Thank you, Austin. Yep. At first I thought, I'll tell them all these options, and I'm like, oh no, I'm going to confuse everyone. So just keep it simple. But I'm glad you brought it up. Okay, so we'll talk about Mr. Rejected Rob here. Just an example. Okay, so this guy, he has a belief. The belief is, I am unworthy compared to others. And maybe he knows that he has that belief, maybe he doesn't know. But the results will help him kind of go backwards and find out. So our beliefs create thoughts, thoughts create feelings, feelings create actions, and actions create results. Okay, so, you know, because he has all these gut problems, headaches, weight problems, sexual organ problems, aches and pains all over his body, okay, then he's like, look, I'm sick and tired of being sick. This is my results. This is happening here, and I don't know, over and over, I can't help but eat these yucky foods and do all these things. And he has this problem, so we're going backwards. So his actions, if he's looking at it carefully, he finds that he conforms to others. He's a yes, yes kind of guy. So all his friends get him to do stuff, and even though he doesn't want to, he says yes anyways. And he feels used and abused. He feels betrayed by them, and he fails a lot in things, even though he tries really hard. And he just thinks, oh, I just make all these silly mistakes all the time. So he gets really hard down on himself. Okay, maybe if it's a couple of days, you won't see the results, but over time, you know, with the law of harvest, you will see. Like my friends that have been abused, you know, maybe when they were teenagers, you don't see much. They move on with their life, they do stuff. But over time, you know, they've developed all of these diseases because it keeps manifesting, it keeps growing. Okay, and then, so if we go backwards, what are the feelings that we have? We feel unworthy, we feel worthless, we feel hurt, we feel insecure, or left out, or forgotten. Okay, and so these feelings can help him identify what it is that he's really thinking. So you can actually write it down and kind of look at it and say, hey, all these sentences, they actually kind of come together in really one statement. And the statement is, I'm not enough. I hate myself. Okay, so that's his thinking, right? And deep down inside, he believes, okay, that he's not worthy compared to others. So, you know, now that we know that, what are we going to do about it? Okay, so we start to re-script, and we give ourselves new scripts. And the new scripts is I'm worthy and valuable and equal to everyone in God's eyes, okay, or the universe, or whatever you want to say. Okay, and then he starts that. And over time, you know, he can use oils to help support that. You know, he can think thoughts like, I love and accept myself, and I know who I am. I receive love. Okay, because sometimes people complain and say, oh, well, so-and-so did this, and they feel so rejected or so hurt by so-and-so. It's just blame. But that experience should be a mirror to you and show you that there's a result. Okay, so many people mean to me, so many people doing all these things. Maybe I'm thinking this, and I'm feeling this, and I'm believing this. That's what I mean. Because I know that people say, hey, it's not fair, it's, you know, this problem, that problem. No, something you can do about it. Okay, so the thoughts can be, I love and accept myself, I know who I am, I receive love. And the new feelings that he's going to develop because he's created these new thoughts, and he's not going to allow himself to think the other thoughts, right? Because we are mighty creators, we will create if we start to feed those thoughts. You know, he'll get these feelings, feeling relaxed, forgiving, tolerant, grounded, playful, and in control. Okay, and then slowly he'll start to speak up, feel empowered, and takes risk and try new things. And then, you know, that would lead to a more productive and happy, fulfilling life with energy and power and healthy weight too. I've had some people, they resolve this, and the next day there was one lady, she texted me and she said, Jade, I lost 3 pounds in my sleep. And I'm like, yay, good. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to pause here, and I just want to invite you guys, anyone have had this experience where you take the belief and life has changed? Anyone
I've
want
done a lot of self
you?
work sort of thing with especially in like the rejected Rob scenario. And yeah, it's slow, but the oils definitely help. I need to do a bit more work with them, because as you fix certain aspects, it goes back to a bigger root.
Mm-hmm.
And it really all comes down to fear or love and which one you kind of choose. So,
yeah, on the belief, isn't it? Our false belief, it all goes back to fixing it and allowing love, isn't it? That's the best. Anyone else?
Yeah, Jade, it's Peaches. Hi, how you doing? This is like right up my alley because I feel like I really am struggling with the thought process. And, you know, I pray, I'm asking God every day to help me. Just situations have come up dealing with people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some, close family friends, and some, in my job situation, you know, there's changes in certain things, and it's been a struggle. I just trying to figure out, how do I get rid of the thoughts? I don't know if it's because I've been detoxing. I'm doing Zendocrine. I'm doing lemon water, but it's just bothering me. I'm like, I don't want to think about these things, but I don't know exactly how to handle it or get rid of it. As certain things, I want to say stuff to people, but I know in my mind it is not coming out nice at all. And I don't want to sound like I'm crazy, like, oh, all these people are doing stuff all the time. It's just, okay, I feel like I ignore a lot of petty stuff. I don't know. And then sometimes I feel like I get passive aggressive. You know, I might not say something, or I might say something sly, or I'll just act a certain way. Like I'll shun people, or like, I don't want to bother with you or whatever. But I just think it makes the situation worse, because then people start, you know, looking at me funny, like, what's wrong with her, with the attitude? And I'm just like, I just pray and God deliver me from these thoughts, because I mean, they can race on. It's like a racy head. I can wake up in the morning and I'm like, look, I don't want to think about, like, when I know I'm going into work, it seems like, oh, it's just starting, like the devil's there in my ear, you know, you're going to have to work with so-and-so today, and this might happen, and this might happen, you know, and I don't want to continue with that. I don't know what oils can help me get my mind, you know, I tried lavender. I just don't know. It's just this thing. It comes up. It would seem like I was good. I was good for a minute, but my goodness, these thoughts, I don't know what triggers the thoughts. You said something earlier, you know, with the sexual abuse. I've been, you know, single for a while, and I date, but I don't know. Things turn me off. I sound like a case right now. I'm sorry, but I need some help with the thought process. I
we
really
appreciate this. We appreciate you sharing and being vulnerable. But this is what I'd like to share with people. So you want to write down. So you don't just think it. You don't say, oh, these are my thoughts. These thoughts want to come out. So you let it come out. You write it down. You're like, oh, I don't like working with so-and-so because she makes me feel this way, blah, 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 blah. You write it all down. Just have a brain dump. You can burn it later, okay? No one needs to see it. Let it out, and then you can review. So the next thing is awesome, because it leads us to the next thing. When we have this rejected feeling all the time, we don't know what we're thinking. So we start blaming, and we don't realize we're blaming. We say, oh, you know, people don't understand because. You know, so-and-so doesn't get me, or no one wants the oils, or blah, 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 blah. And all of these things are just blaming. Okay, or I've done so much for so-and-so, and in our job, I do this and this, and they don't, you know, and I feel so disappointed, hurt, or offended by blah, blah, blah. All of this is blaming, by the way. Oh, I have asthma, I have arthritis, bad genes, I have bad genes, I have fungus in myself. You know, all of this is, you know, again, blaming, gut problem, inherited from my mom, or whatever it is. We don't realize that we're blaming. So when you write it down, you can go, look at me. There's a blame, there's a blame, there's a blame. Let me just use a highlighter and go, okay. And then you can actually rewrite it. If you know what you're thinking, then you, like I said earlier, sometimes we don't know. And
well, I think a lot of what I feel is like a lot of, what is it? Betrayal.
yeah.
Like, you know, there was a family friend, you know, me and my family helped out, you know, for a while. And it was I guess a falling out with you know, another family member. And now, you know, I feel like we're getting, you know, shunned, and treated as if we never did anything for that person. And it disgusts me that people are ungrateful when you've helped them and you've done things. So I know that's the issue for me. Like, I'm feeling like some ungratefulness from people that I've helped, and I felt like I went out on a limb for, and now they're, treating us like they never knew us. And then, you get to work and people feel like they're the privileged worker. This is another scenario I'm talking about. They're the privileged worker, and they ought to not do the extra stuff, but they dump on certain ones. And it's a shift thing with us. It's like a day shift versus night shift, stupid crap. And every day you feel like you're walking into that. So how do you process this? How do you really get rid of the thoughts? I've tried and dealt my ways, but it's like you're constantly dealing with it. And I'm just wondering, maybe I should be leaving, because I remember we talked about this before. I don't want to be dragged down all the time with nonsense. I tried being quiet. I tried avoiding, certain people, certain topics, and doing my own things. But it just says people don't leave you alone. You can be to yourself. It's a problem.
I hear you, Austin.
I would say, Peaches, that one, it's okay to have the thoughts of all that, like all those, even the negative thoughts. It's okay, because that's also part of the acceptance of oneself, also, is to accept that it's not okay. I have some videos that, if you want to add me, I can send, that I think might help, that I found very helpful. There was something else I was going to say, but it's gone. No, that's the other thing. From feeling into what you're saying, I also get that the people that are coming into your life are there to help. Whenever there's an obstruction in one's life, it's usually a lesson that one needs to learn, or something that we try to, that's to resolve the soul contract between two individuals. So I think Jay wants to say something. But
no, I'm just saying, I'm agreeing with you there. But when you fear that so-and-so is going to bring you down, what are we saying? We're giving them our power, and we're letting them bring us down. So if you love and accept yourself, if people reject you, you don't feel rejected, right? When you betrayed yourself, right? You didn't stand up for yourself, then you'll see betrayals everywhere. You will. Okay, but who did it first? You. Okay, so that is a wonderful opportunity for you to hear and feel it. Otherwise, like in my previous calls, I say we have Groundhog's Day over and over and over again. We have people betraying us left and right, using us left and right, because we haven't learned healthy boundaries. We haven't learned to love ourselves. And so suddenly the other thing.
That's what this topic.
This is what we're going to do.
Is the root cause.
We're going to go back to the root
cause. You'll see this come up over and over.
We're not going to go, hey, I'm going to talk to so-and-so.
And whenever you see the problem outside of yourself, you've given away your power. You can't do anything about it. Because if it's outside yourself, if you're blaming it on other people,
you have no power over other people.
You can't do anything about it. You have to own it.
But I don't know how not to be pissed off. Like when people are ungrateful, and after you've been kind and showed kindness for years to people, and then they turn around and I don't know.
I understand.
It's the thought. It's the thoughts. I just don't want to. I just want to get to the point where it must still be bothering me, because the thought just keeps coming up, and I just want it to just rest in peace. I just want it to go away. I don't want to think about these people. I don't want to think about the offense. I don't want to think about it. I mean, I don't want it to control me like this, because at this point I just feel like, every day, am I going to think about this every day? I can't think about this every day.
That's the belief, isn't it? The belief that I can't get rid of it, belief that it's difficult to get rid of, belief that you're not safe. So you write this down, you list out your emotions, and you do the smell test, and you stick the oils up your nose and go, this is the one. All right, and then look at it. Okay, and that's what we want to show people.
So the title of this book is Feelings Buried Alive Never Died. So the idea is that as you deal with it,
it will come back.
Keep coming back.
Yeah, in a different way, shape, or form.
You gotta sit down, and you actually have to take the time.
And it will
like
hurt.
What Jade's is saying, write it out. Get vulnerable. Just write and
you have to cry it out or whatever it is.
And you've got to discover the root cause. You got to go back to it. Like Jade was showing, she's got these examples of going forward, but you've got to go back and find out what is the root belief.
Yep.
There's something you believe. It's a false belief. There's some emotion, something you haven't dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
You need to deal with.
Wow.
Change
Most of
the belief.
Wow.
I find most of that held in the root chakra as well, which is dealt with fear. And I find a lot of negative emotions will always be traced down to fear.
Yep. Yeah.
We want positive emotions for love. And a lot of the time people are missing, especially the self-love, like you're saying. That's a very important thing.
Yeah. So we'll move on, and maybe you'll find some solutions here. But also, I go into greater details in my course because I talk about the fear emotions, faith emotions, and we don't even realize which side that emotion is on. So yeah, it's about just sitting there owning it, and sometimes it will hurt. So we go through that tearful moment. So someone like, say your friends rejected you at school, maybe preschool even, right? And then you think, oh, maybe I'm no good. And then over time in your lifetime, you start building up more and more evidence of rejection, okay? But in your childhood, perhaps you just didn't stand up for yourself and say, hey, I don't care. I'm going to, and you didn't know better. So that's why we do a lot of work like childhood regression and stuff, because once we resolve that, it's resolved. And I'll tell you, because I've gone through some traumas. I could say, cursed those, I don't know, what is it, communist soldiers, blah, 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 force my family out of our home, blah, blah, blah. I could do that. But it doesn't help me any, right? So I have to look back and say, okay, how can I learn from this? And then I look back and I don't have any hatred at all. They're actually, same as me. They're figuring out life, and they're kind of messed up a bit, a lot. But hey, it's not up to me. Okay, I can't change any of that. I can change me. Okay, so that's what we're trying to teach people.
It's like Louise Hay says, they're just trying to do the best with what they have, and sometimes people do bad things, and you just have to say, look at that's them. This is me. I'm going to do what I can do. Yeah.
So let's go to Stressful Susie, because we have mamas, a lot of mamas that feel this way. So it's funny because I did this, and then I had a friend that called and had the exact same problem. So she was like, I've got weight problems, I've got tension in my body, aches and sores, sore shoulders, and she doesn't get things done. She doesn't get everything done. She's always feeling stressed, and everything is just too much. I mean, look at the laundry, look at this, and look at that. I haven't done all of these things. She lists all that. And then she feels like she doesn't have enough time in the day. Okay? And of course, we go back and I say, hey, how do you feel? And so it's, I'm angry, and, sometimes I shout at the kids, yep, okay, and then I have to stay up till midnight because I don't get everything done, and then I'm tired. So I'm like, okay, and so keep on going back, I'm stressed and I'm overwhelmed, okay? So we wrote those things down, and we talked about that. And then sometimes it's inherited, we can test for that, muscle test for that too. And, oh, yes, it's from my mom. Yeah, I can see that. She's like that. But it doesn't matter if it's inherited or not. It's you choosing to change that belief. But sometimes you don't know to change it because you've inherited a subconscious thing. Sometimes we watch TV and we get subliminal messages, and we don't even realize we're getting that. Okay, so we're asking, hey, let's write down our thoughts. So what are we thinking? Why does it make you feel stressed? Well, and then I just listen to them talk, and they just babble and talk. I don't hear exactly all the words or the exact situation. I'm looking for patterns of thought. Okay, because so-and-so did this and so-and-so. And when I was this age, those are the details. I'm not looking for details. I'm looking for patterns. And then so finally it's like, oh, because I'm too busy, I can't play. And then, because I can't play. So she thinks she can't play. She thinks she has to be busy and she can't rest. So those are the thoughts that go into her head. I can't rest, I can't play, I can't do this, I can't have fun. And then really going back to the belief, I'm like, okay, what do you believe about motherhood then? She's like, being a mom is stressful. And she's like, boo. And then she paused there, and then she started to cry because we found it. We found where the root is, right? Or the soil that grew that seed. Because in our minds, we think, oh, this is the definition of motherhood. You're supposed to sacrifice yourself. You're supposed to, do everything for everyone. All these things that you've seen all other women complain. So as you grow up and become a mom yourself, you kind of fit right into that.
Because you believe that you created.
Yeah, and you believed it. So I said to her, well, let's...
And along with that belief maybe comes being busy is good.
Yeah.
Having fun is bad.
Yeah. So along with that, we just need to write it down, and then we sit there and consciously choose. Because I know that, like me, I was like this too, and I didn't choose what kind of mother I want to be. I don't have to follow everything that everyone has done. Some of the things that people have done are good, but some of them are not so good. And so I have to consciously choose to own my power and say, look, no, none of that for me. Okay?
You've got to believe something. Why not choose beliefs that will support your happiness and success?
So this is actually me too. So I changed this belief, and I said, with divine help, being a mother is enjoyable, and I can have it all in the right time and season. Okay? So, and then things started happening when I started to believe that and change. I'm like, getting rid of this. And all it takes is a choice. You just choose. If we believe that healing takes forever and it's going to be hard, then it's going to be hard. But I feel like, you know, in the story of Moses and the serpent on the staff, just look up and then we're healed. Done. Right? That's how easy. That's what I believe. Okay? I love it have to make it that difficult.
Jade, if I may ask this question. So you think, like, when those thoughts come to your mind, I should just, I don't want to think. I tell myself, okay, why am I thinking about this? I don't want to think about this. Let it go. But then I find I'm start overthinking and even like verbalizing. Like, I can't believe they did this. People are just, you know, and start talking about people in general. And I shouldn't be going there because it's really a single situation. But I'm like, I feel like I'm in a battle, and I don't want to be in a battle all the time. You know, mentally, it's struggle and stressful.
Yeah, I promise you, write it down. Write it down. Once you've like dumped out those feelings and emotions, then you can think clearly. Okay, and you've got to
discover the root.
Yeah, you do other
so
things.
You can deal with it.
You know, you're naturally, because you want that, you have that desire. Like I said, it doesn't take, you know, it doesn't grow overnight. It will take time. But as soon as you adopt that thing, that new belief, you'll allow it to grow. And maybe a weed or two comes in and you go, no, I'm going to take that out. Oops. So, you know, you just keep on doing that. And slowly you'll nourish that tree into a good one.
So, Peaches, I hear you saying you've got these thoughts and you don't know how to change them. And it's frustrating. You try to put new thoughts and everything. You can't change it that way. You have to go back even further. So that's what we're talking about. You have to sit down and do the homework.
Yeah. Now here, you're trying to get rid of that. Chop the tree, like at the trunk. Yeah,
you're trying to deal with it there.
We're digging into the root and taking the whole thing out. If it's grown wrong, we're digging really deep.
You have to
dig all around it sometimes.
Some analysis, some piecing things together. Think about, when is the first time that you felt that? When is the first time you had that thought? Try to discover the root cause. It might be an emotion, might be a feeling, might be some belief. Something happened to you when you were young.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. Yeah, I could go way back there. I can go back to that.
You just have to deal with one layer of the onion at a time.
It'll happen. It happens for everyone, okay? I do energy healing sessions. I see people one way, months later, they've changed to another way. Hundreds of people have been able to help them. So you're not, you know, especially broken. Okay? Yeah. Don't feel that way.
I feel, you know what, and then there's periods where I could feel fine and I'll be okay. And then an incident will happen, and then I'm just like, you know, I'm tired of people. People are just, it's difficult. And maybe it's the things I'm perpetuating, like, you know, just saying. Maybe I'm perpetuating it just by saying it, and it's making it bigger than it is. But I think a lot of it comes from, I'm be honest, a lot of it I think triggers down the family line, because I've heard like women in my family like complain about the same things over and over about what people try to do. Yeah. I think that could be part of the issues as I'm talking now. Yeah. Because I know, like, sometimes in my family, they talk about things that happened 30 years ago, 20 years ago, like if it just happened,
Really,
it's like, it's over, like that's over, we don't got to talk about that anymore.
Yeah.
But it's almost like holding on to things that you don't need to hold on to. And I'm like, maybe that's what I'm doing. I'm just holding on to things. For what reason? I don't know why. I don't want to hold on to it.
Will help you know. So if you're talking about holding things in, so if you are not pooping 3 times a day, then you're holding things in. So if you're not sure, ask yourself, am I pooping this many times? No, I'm not. Then yes, obviously I'm holding things in. Okay, so your physical body will tell you the answers. Don't worry, the answers are all here already. You don't have to have that belief that, oh, it's going to be difficult. I can't figure it out. Okay, oh yeah, you've got it. So I'll continue a little bit here, and then we'll have a discussion. So this new thought is, with divine help, I can be the mom that I want to be, and I can do anything I need to do. Okay, so when I first had kids, I had a lady tell me, well, say goodbye to your body, it's going to be ruined. And I'm like, okay, I should give my clothes away. And then, I started to gain weight, and I started to get sicker and sicker. And I really didn't need to think that way, but I bought into it subconsciously without thinking, right? And thinking, I don't have time to do stuff. I want to learn piano. Well, now it's too late. Or I want to paint, and now it's too late. So all of these yucky feelings and thoughts came into my mind. So as soon as I wrote it down, I said, wait. I can do that. Okay. And then I started to change. And then now I'm more relaxed. I have a healthy weight. I have more energy. And I utilize leverage. So I play games so that the kids can help me with chores. I offer money, for them to do their chores or whatever it is. I do lots of things. And, for me, I'm like, wait, Emily's setting precedents. We will go to Washington, D.C. I don't have to be the typical mom to, do all these things. I get to choose how I want to be. So I kidnapped all my kids and we went to Washington, D.C. and learned about presidents instead of letting them go, and learn it in school that week. And so I'm like, yay, I can do stuff and break some of the rules that the society thinks I have to be like, and that's okay. Okay, I'm not telling you to take your kids out. I'm just saying it's an example. Okay, so all these people are taking their kids out of school, so no. But the result is you're more productive, you're organized, and you have a happier lifestyle. Now, this has been very powerful because I wanted to teach my kids self-love. I wanted to teach the kids confidence. And there was no other way for me to teach them. You try, and they're like, no, I'm shy, I won't talk to the teacher, blah, blah, blah. But because I learned to love myself and I gave myself time to take care of myself and, exercise and eat better, then my kids are doing that too. They're refusing a lot of things. They don't want to eat school lunches here in the States. And I'm thinking, that's awesome. And they don't mind that the other kids eat something different because they feel good. They choose to be healthy, just like I did. I couldn't have taught them that lesson if I didn't discover that for myself. Successful in doTERRA, I mean, that just opened a new, horizon for my kids. In Australia, they were trying to be prefect and, school captain and all these things and just leadership. I'm thinking, whoa, you guys are brave because I gave them license because I was brave, you see? So all of these happy, good fruits happen and you think, I did good. See, there's the result. Right, but it didn't happen overnight. You just kind of build on it, and then if you have a little thing that sneaks in, you go, no, I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking this now, and it works. It works for everybody. Okay.
So Jade, when you said that the lady was giving you all this negative feedback and stuff, and then you said you started to feel a certain way about being a mother, you said you wrote all of these things down. You wrote how you were feeling down.
Yeah.
And then and then after you wrote that down, what was the next thing you did? You started. I chose.
I looked at it and I chose. I said, well, I can be a mom and have a healthy body too, right? I can be a sexy mama, right? Let's write it down. It's the little things that you think it just doesn't feel right. Why should I? Like I said, I have a picture there. You have your cake and eat it too. Why not? Really, why not? I want to work this many hours but earn this much money and be with my children too. Why not? Right? Sometimes people think, oh, I'm busy, I have to work harder and work more. Maybe I can just work smart. You know,
Yeah.
things that stress you out, things that you complain about, write it down and look at it objectively. Right? Use the oils, and then it helps you. It's sort of like scaffolding. You know, you use it, it keeps it holding you up, and you know, when you feel like I'm going to droop, it holds you up again. You smell that oils, the bergamot, cinnamon, or whatever, and slowly you can stand on your own 2 feet, right?
That's,
They've
yeah,
got
I think
friends
I
with
need that.
depression, right? And they feel like, oh, I have to have the oils every day. And slowly, after a couple of months, they're like, you know what? Some days I forget, and I'm still okay. I'm like, yay! Because the holding has done its job and it's helped you be strong enough to stand up on your own 2 feet. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell everybody to do. Okay?
Okay.
So in the conclusion, you really have to work out what you believe, okay? And give yourself that opportunity to choose. It's not that difficult. As soon as you declare choice, things change. So I'll end with 2 examples, and we'll have a discussion in a few minutes. So I had an opportunity to teach several classes recently. One lady, she said to me, I'll try, I'll see if it works. Okay, so that tells me she hasn't chosen to heal, right? And so I'm like, oh, okay, I hope she's going to do well. But most of the time, oh, I got this thing, and I don't know if she's using the oils. She's probably not back to surgery and other things. So that's gone, right? And another lady, just as sick, has gone through hospitals, has gone through surgeries and drugs, all sorts of things. And she said, I am done being sick, Jade. I will be better. I'm going to be better. And so she has just shouted out and declared and made a big choice right in front of everyone that she's going to be well. Well, I saw her on Saturday, and she was like, I slept, you know, instead of 5 hours, she's thinking she slept well after 5.5 hours. She's an 8.5 hours. She said, I couldn't believe it, Jade. I slept 8.5 hours. I'm like, oh, great. And she said, and then this, and all of these great results. And it's only been 1 month. And I'm like, I am so proud of you. You know the difference between them? They're using the same oils and everything else. The difference because one lady chose. She chose to heal. Right? That is amazing. Okay, this person goes, oh, I'm a different person. Another person's like, yeah, because she hasn't chosen. That's it. It's not like, oh, my body's more broken than your body. This one, she doesn't have a gallbladder. She doesn't have all these other, you know, parts in her because she's gone through the same kind of stuff. Right, so about choice. That's our very powerful power that we have within. So I know a few people here that have gone through and did a whole heap of healing. Does anybody want to share? I don't want to pick on anybody.
Pick a story and I'll share it, Jade.
Well, Marissa, you can just do the overall, okay?
Oh, goodness. I don't even know how to say that much information quickly. So for those of you who don't know me, I used to be about 120 pounds heavier than this. So I've done a lot of weight loss over the last year or so. I've been using oils for almost 5 years. I found out about them during my first pregnancy, and first started using them just for physical symptoms, kind of like the Western medicine, the way that we think about things is we just treat a symptom and move on. And you know, over the last year or so, started using more for emotional and spiritual support as well, and healing from a great many ailments, issues, with a lot of things that I've had in my life, and you know, that goes from all the way back to childhood and sexual trauma and abuse to emotional abuse and even some physical abuse in my history. And so I've had very positive experiences with energy healing and with really, like Jade says, getting down to the root, what causes those beliefs, going back in your history and finding it. And you have to surround yourself with positivity and believe those things, and then they do start to change you. I remember about 5 years ago when I first found out about the oils, I really, really disliked lavender oil. It was my least favorite oil. I just thought it smelled like poop. It was awful. And then I was talking to Jade about it, and she told me how it's the lavender, or that lavender is the oil of communication. And at that time in my life, I was very closed off. I had been hurt many, many times by, friends. When I love somebody, I love them completely. And I give my heart to somebody. And, whether it's a friend or a romantic situation, whatever it had been. And so I just got to that point in my life where I was tired of being hurt and just disappointed in people. And so I didn't want to open up fully and share myself with other people, share my spirit, because I feel like when I have a true friend, that's what I do with them. I share myself with them, and I don't, Peaches, I've felt betrayed like you. So, Jade was able to help me a great deal with taking down walls, those protective barriers that I had built around myself, to prevent me from being hurt. But I mean, at the same time, it also prevented any kind of growth or any kind of real relationships being formed, if that makes sense. So that, I think, has been one of the most important things for me, has been just to let those walls down and to let it allowed myself to blossom and change. And it's funny, I have like lots and lots of people who've known me my whole life, and people who've only known me a couple years. They come up and they meet me now, and sometimes they don't even recognize me. They just think I'm a totally different person. It takes them a while to recognize me, and so that is a testament to me of how much change I actually have experienced and gone through, and the growth that I've seen in my own life has been just phenomenal, amazing. Allowed me to be able to open up to people again and share and spread this knowledge with others, because that's what I love about it, that it's helped me so much that I just want to help everybody I can, whether they're a stranger. I mean, I shared it with a guest on my drive back from Atlanta on Sunday afternoon, and she said something. It's like your brain changes and you hear people talk about any kind of spiritual, emotional, or even physical problem, and you're like, I have oils for that, or I've done this, or I can relate to everybody, and your empathy is so much stronger. I consider myself a great empath, and that I can feel and relate to others very strongly. And so it's helped me to use that ability in a very positive way in my life.
That's awesome, Marissa. Loved it. And lots of little stories that she's told, and it's just been so powerful. And sometimes when people offend you, she chooses not to be offended, and she chooses not to let that hurt her, because she's not going to blame them for how she feels anymore, because she chose to feel offended or whatever. And so that was amazing, great experience. What is it? We met.
But you really do have to let it go, Peaches. It's easy sounding, and it's gonna make you think about Elsa and Anna, but it's true. Like you have to give it up, and you have to forgive, and you've got to be Christ-like and just let it go, and you'll find yourself so much happier. And honestly, the biggest thing for me has been the peace that I feel in my heart when I don't hold on to these things. It's very easy to be offended. It's very easy to, be hurt by people. But if you just trust yourself, you love yourself, and you trust and love God, it just kind of washes it all away. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So you don't need their love and approval or good deeds to kind of feed you anymore, right? Yeah. You God's love for you and your love for yourself is sufficient to fill you up. You don't need the approval or validations of other people anymore. Yeah. I think we met late last year, October, right? So,
Yep.
October till now. Yeah. And, I think you were saying how most of that weight was lost during that time.
Yep. About close to 80 pounds of that.
That's really fast for anybody that has lost weight. That's a lot.
Well, I've yo-yoed like my whole life. I'll lose weight, get back on, but this has been the most amount of weight that I've taken off and been able to keep off. And I think a lot of that has just been the emotional healing, and doing the cleanse has helped a great deal as well. But you release it and you leave it and don't take it back,
And what did you say? It was like, you're the lightest you've been since you've been.
The smallest I've been in my adult life. I haven't been this size probably since I was like 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else? Want to say anything? You're welcome to just pipe in.
I can say that. I'm sorry that I wasn't on in the beginning. I left a class, but I listened on the way home, and then I got home and hurried up and came on. But I'm sort of like Marissa, where there was a lot of things that emotionally I had to deal with, and I knew, but I didn't really know what to do. And my family had been through some traumatic events, and my kids and I were both going through so many emotional things from that. And you know, little by little, like I had to like work on myself, but then tell my kids what to help themselves for, and we could see each other changing, you know, and we're nowhere where we were before. And like she said, you work on this, and when you really can get to the source, you really are free, and you can let it go, and it has no power over you. And I mean, I went to counseling before. I actually had someone that was just attacking my whole family. And we went to counseling, and he said, you know, the counselor was like, you don't have to do this. You know, you keep on accepting that and taking that, but you are in control, and you don't have to let it affect you, and you don't have to do this and that. And, you know, I kind of looked at him like, well, what do you mean? You know, it was a foreign concept. But then, you know, I started to take it in and work on it. And then one day he was like, you know, I never thought you would be strong enough, but how do you feel now? Like, how much stress is gone? How much happier are you? Because you say, nope, this is where my responsibility lies. This is what I'm going to allow myself. And, you know, I'm not going to take this negativity any further. I'm going to do this or that. And, you know, you changed your thing. And then, you know, I have made some progress, but it was still a lot as my kids got older to help them deal with those things that, you know, we didn't know that they hadn't dealt with, or not fully, you know, it just came up again. So I would go to Jade and be like, I don't know, we have this, I have that, you know, and there was things that I didn't even realize that she was like, you feel responsible for other people's happiness. You feel, you know, you're parenting, but you're not responsible for everything, you know. And then I'd go, oh, you're right, you know. So you know, and I just told 2 teammates recently, you know, start working on your emotions, because it unlocks so much, like health-wise, but all these blocks and these things that you don't think are gonna block, not let you progress in your business. It's like if you start working on yourself, and even like, you know, the books that are helping you have a mentality for business and for growth, but then you use the oils along with that and for your emotions as well. It's like you start growing, and like you open your eyes, you're like, I see this now I can help this teammate, I see this. And it's like I actually sat there and was like, man, did Jade feel this way with me? Like, why didn't I just see, you know? And I was like, well, hopefully she must have saw that I was growing. I have to see that my teammates, or, you know, my team members are trying to grow, and this is their first experience, just like it was mine, with understanding all this, you know? So I look at the growth that I had, I look at what Jade helped me to see, and I try to look at where I see other people at and like do the same thing, because, you know, you can even change when you see others change, you know. And I saw Marissa change, and I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know she was doing the oils either. And when we started talking, we're like, wow, well, I used, you know, both of us were changing so much. And it's pretty neat to see friends and family go through that, and then to help, you know, new people that you meet. It's like, it affirms your belief, it affirms your confidence in yourself, and that, you know, you can listen, and Heavenly Father is going to guide you and help you to help these people. And they're, you know, they might be a little like, this is a little nuts, or this is a little different, you know, at first, but as long as they say, well, I'm going to trust you and I'm going to try these things, you know, you can see that growth. And it comes out physically. Like, there were some physical ailments that I can look in that feelings buried alive never die, and I can go, check, I had that, check, I had that, you know. And I didn't know that that's where it started and that stemmed from. But so physical and emotional, it's just like, you know, so amazing. And to see yourself grow, and to see what it really was. And then when you go to teach that, you know for a fact, like, yep, I learned this from my mentor, and I learned this from my friends, and now I can share it with you, you know. So.
Thank you so much, Stacey. Well, we're out of time exactly, an hour. But to conclude, everyone, work on the belief of loving yourself, because sometimes when you feel rejected, you don't feel connected to people, you feel awkward with people, it's because you've denied yourself of that love first. Okay, and you will complete your healing as you heal other people too. So you get to a certain level, and then you see yourself in other people, and as you help them, you kind of vicariously heal too, and that's awesome. Like Stacey and Marissa saying, they feel a passion, they feel a purpose now for life, and know why and what they're doing. So thank you so much. We're having lots of pockets and communities of Earth Angels here, so really appreciative of everybody that's come and sharing your heart with us, and we'll have more of these calls. So every week we'll meet you here if you can, and we'll invite other friends to come too. So I do have an energy healing course, because I know that this is quite intense and new, and it's $99 to the end of this month, and then I'll go back to its original price, which is $249. So if you're interested, it's available there for you, because I know that this is a process, and once you get it, you get the skill down. Okay, well, I'm going to end the recording, guys, and then we can have a chat if you need to talk.